Ring ring! It's time for another episode of Crossplay Conversations, the show where we dive deep into the world of video games while keeping it light. That was a weird way to start the show, but we did it. I'm your host, Jacob McCourt, and today I have two friends with me. They are married, but let me start by introducing the virtuoso Claire Lewis. Hello.
Hey. How's it going?
The energy is high, and we are ready to podcast and talk about some wholesome games, along with the Latte Legionnaire, Luke Lewis. Hello.
We're back, baby. They couldn't keep me away. Let's content.
Let's do it. Today we're going to talk about the Wholesome Games Celebration event on Steam. We've got a couple of new hot titles that we've played alongside with some new demos that came out around that. Again, shout out to Wholesome Games for sending us keys for this so we could talk about it all show long. Inspired by Wholesome Games, Claire had a great idea for an icebreaker today. So let's start with a wholesome question. What is your favorite wholesome game mechanic? Claire, you have yours ready to go, so I'm going to ask you to unholster that bad boy.
I really like it when you can pet the cute little creature, whether it's a dog or something weird, snail, what have you. I like being able to reach out and give it a little pat.
Oh. Okay, if dog is first, what animal is after that? Cat? Okay, what is after that?
You threw out snail.
I pet a
Have you
sheep
pet a snail
as
in
part
real
of
life?
as part of this. I feel like there's some little games where you play as a little guy.
That's
Maybe
true.
you pet
The
a little
perspective
thing in one
is
of those
important.
such
Sure.
games. Yeah.
Okay, I dig it.
Luke?
I'm gonna go with stick with me. I
Okay.
like it in a wholesome game where you can sit and take in a scene.
Yes.
You know, whether
Yes.
it's like you're on the dock by a body of water, a nice bench in a garden. Usually it cues some lovely music. Maybe the camera pans out just a little bit. And then if it just lets me sit in that, as long as I want to, that's my favorite. Because I feel like it's in a wholesome game that I like take the time to like be more reflective. So yeah, that's mine. How about you?
Man, you guys took the good ones. I love some unexpected words of affirmation. When a character that you don't expect just like gives you a, hey man, everything's going to be okay. That just hits me right in the feels,
It gets
you know?
you. Yes.
Yeah. If it's a little guy, even more so.
Bonus points if it's like a really well executed tutorial and then it's like, wait, I do want to play this. This is my vibe. This is my guy right there. The little owl friend. I feel like it's always an owl friend in a lot of wholesome games.
I mean, one of these games has another like bird friend, which we'll get into.
Hell yeah.
But with that icebreaker out of the way, we're going to talk today, as I mentioned, about the Wholesome Game Celebration. We've got a half a dozen demos and 3 full hot new games that we'd love to talk about. So we're just going to popcorn back and forth and talk about some of our faves. So Luke, I noticed on Steam, I'm going to throw to you, that you played a game unexpectedly for hours since this event started just a few days ago. So please, tell me about Spiritstead.
Yeah, so Spiritstead is a delightful little village builder, city builder game. Claire had a chance to play this one as well. It just has a really wonderful aesthetic. I'm going to share for folks checking out the video version of the show. You can see the art style, but it has just this really cute hand-painted children's book look that kind of reminds me of Richard Scarry's a little bit, but it has a really fun mythical twist.
Yeah.
So it has your typical gameplay loop of you're placing houses for your villagers that then feed into growing crops and livestock and things like that, and essentially building out your village and expanding over time. But there's some wonderful little magic elements where they have these spirits that eventually help you collect resources, and you utilize portal technology, so it gets a little fantastical. It's just really charming, and it's just a really nice podcast game in my case of I just ended up getting really stuck playing it in a good way. And it has these really fun little organic moments of discovery where after you build a fire, if you hold a chicken over the fire, it turns the chicken into this red hot flaming chicken that unlocks a new variant of chicken. So there's just some fun, like...
To be fair, not just any chicken. It's a very specific demon
And
chicken.
not fried chicken.
No, but there's just this fun,
You do
like,
not cook the
trial
chicken.
and
It's
error
this guy.
of, like...
This guy, his name
Yeah,
is
the quirky
Capy
red
or
chicken.
something like that.
I just thought it was really neat. I almost felt like I was playing like a Zelda-style adventure game of
Yeah.
finding these weird combinations in
Little
a
things.
genre that I typically feel like... I feel pretty confident in knowing what a village builder plays like, but this did some cute things to switch it up a little bit. There's a cool fishing
Did you get to
minigame,
the
which I
fishing minigame?
love. I did, but I didn't get all these different fish that are
Yeah.
shown in this screenshot we're looking
I
at
didn't get
here.
that far.
But yeah, just a delightful time. I know, Claire, you had a chance to jump into this one too.
Yeah, I checked out a little bit of it. The thing I really liked about it was how it felt like it really eased you into the gameplay in a way that felt super compelling. Like, I started out and there was just not a lot that you can do, as it teaches you all the different mechanics. You kind of think, oh, there's not a lot here. It's not like it just bombards you with all the things you can build. It starts with like just the one house, and then but then you're advancing so quickly and getting so many more things, and I just felt like intuitively like, oh, I want to build a pumpkin patch. Oh, but I need a farmer. And then it was like, you need a farmer. So it was a little bit ahead of the tutorial at that point, but it was really compelling, and I'm definitely going to go back and keep playing it, even after the hour demo that I played. And I would also add that I think art style and music wise, the vibe was also a little bit like old school Ghibli. I know that gets tossed around a lot these days, but just the way the watercolors were, and it was just, it's the very cozy, like, romanticization of the everyday life you just saw on the screen. The little guys go into the can. You gotta help the little guys use the loo. It's cute, but it's it's not crass. It kind of, that part of it reminded me of Cult of the Lamb. There's shit on the ground and you gotta pick it up.
Yeah,
but it's cute.
It hits on elements of Cult of the Lamb, a little bit of Rusty's Retirement with like the slight idler gameplay loop of unlocking things and watching your villagers go about their day.
And try
But
to,
there's
like,
also like
automate
a
it a little
satisfying tactile feel as you're like moving stuff.
Yeah.
Are there
around.
levels, or is it just like, hey, build your world out
You're
and hit
leveling
objectives?
up.
Yeah, you're leveling up
Your
and
village, yeah.
unlocking new buildings and systems, and then you see in the game
And
here there's almost like
characters
a
and stuff.
tile-based system where as you unlock certain types of currency, then you can unlock new squares within the world and
Yeah.
expand out. There's a snowy area, there's some different things, and it's an interesting one because I feel like on paper you're like, yeah, that sounds fine and good, but it's really well made, and I think when you're in it, it clicks.
Yeah,
But
I
when
also
you
think
hear about it, you're like, that sounds like a known quantity, but I think
Yeah.
there's something special here.
I think the thing that's special also is the spirits, and that's like a big part of what the game is billing itself as, is that there are these ways you can unlock these quirky little spirits and learn about what makes them tick and how you can get them to come to your village, and then they help you out in various ways, and they're really cute. And I don't know if you have more to say about the spirits than me, because you probably got further, but there's like, you can collect them and read about them, and there's more difficult ones to get. So
Yeah, I found a couple, and like I mentioned, they were all tied to like organic discovery, so I felt really inclined to send different characters through the portals and throw different characters by the fire and move stuff around.
Yeah.
And oh, this person's in the snow level, so that triggered something specific, or I put this building too close to a body of water, so that triggered something. So there's some fun like emergent gameplay that happens with just different contingencies and situations.
yeah,
Is it good on a controller, or is that something that you played with a mouse and keyboard?
This was mouse and
I did mouse and
keyboard.
keyboard.
I didn't try it on Steam Deck, but if it works well on Steam Deck, it would be a very solid Steam Deck experience, just in terms of like the gameplay loop and the bite-sized experience of definitely a game you could play for a few minutes or a few hours, depending on what you have available.
I'm interested. I played Dawnfolk a lot last year and really liked it, and so seeing this, obviously art style is way different, and then like construction of the game is different, given that Dawnfolk is distinct levels, and this seems just like one world that expands and levels up. But this seems sick, so I'm gonna have to try this.
Yeah, it's super cool. Highly recommend. And we had access to the full game, so excited to keep chipping away at this one. This is a nice, just, I imagine, ongoing game for me this year that'll be good.
And I think it just came out on the 6th of August and is what, $9.99?
Yeah, and it's on sale right now in the US for
$8.99.
$8.99, so with that sweet launch discount. And there's a couple bundles with other cozy games, so if you have Minami Lane or some other titles like that, you can save a few bucks as well.
Can I say, something that we don't talk about enough is how much of a pricing game changer these bundles are.
Oh, yeah. Especially when, you know, there's legacy titles from years past, and then it benefits everybody. And then it's consumer-friendly and developer-friendly, I feel like.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
You love to see it.
Why don't I jump into one that Luke, you and me have played a little bit, and this is another full game that we have, and this is Capy Castaway, which is a Toronto-based game that, I always got to shout out Canadian titles. This is one where you play as a combination Cappy/Crow, where you're just going around a city that's inspired somewhat by Toronto. You can even see in the video, if you're watching the video version, there was a coffee cup that looked like a Tim Hortons cup. And so it truly is just a little cute platforming game with a lot of cute, fun writing where you transport yourself around by either having your crow carry the Cappy or having your Cappy kind of jump around and do some light platforming. I played maybe 20 to 30 minutes of this one, and so far surprisingly funny. Beyond the writing, also like picking up anything that's on the ground, and you could pick up like a piece of garbage and just chew on it, or there might be fruit on the ground that you can eat, and then all the little characters that are different anthropomorphic animals are just a delight. So, and your Cappy doesn't talk; he talks in images, where sometimes he will just nod his head or shake his head, and it's done through a speech bubble that has like an animated version of your character, which I absolutely love. Just oozes charm. It's unfortunate because there was a game called Do a Crime that came out a couple of months ago, which was a sort of a raccoon version of this that didn't hit with me. But even in my short time playing this one, I'm like, oh, this hits more than Do a Crime did. Luke, did you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I'm still super, super early as well, but I adore the art style, the writing, and overall vibe of the game is so fun and charming. Just little tiny bits of humor make me think of games that I absolutely adore, like A Short Hike or
A Short Hike was the number one thing I thought of with this one.
Yeah, it's just such a nice vibe, and it just makes me feel warm inside in a good way while playing it, but I was chuckling. I really enjoyed the exploring. I think the semi-isometric camera perspective on this one, I think, is a nice touch. We've had a lot of, I would say, more traditional 3D platformers this year, so it's nice to see something slightly different with a really unique aesthetic. But yeah, really, really fun. And I would say, like, if you watch 10 seconds of gameplay and you're not immediately sold, I don't know what else to tell you, because it's just a super delightful one that I can't wait to jump back into.
Yeah, weirdly enough, reminded me, and this one also is part of the Wholesome Game Celebration, but it's not on our list here. Big Hops just put out a big update where now it's Big Hops Together, where essentially they've added 8-player co-op to Big Hops.
Ooh,
That's awesome.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so
Is
a
there
bonus little
co-op
shout-out.
in Cappy?
So I believe that there's 2-player co-op in this one.
Oh, cool.
Where one player controls the crow and one controls the
Neat.
capybara.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. That's
I
cool.
call the crow. He's cute, and his name is Corvy.
Corvy is a homie because he had my favorite scene in the game so far, where at the very beginning he asks you what your name is. And
Yes.
to Jacob's point, he was describing the yes-no mechanic where you get to shake your head or nod your head. And you can sit there for 5+ minutes like I did, and he will just keep giving you different names.
Yes.
Until you're like, yes, I would like to be called Nacho. Thank you very much. Yes.
And
Also-
see, the
And
best part
just
is
the
I
little
picked Tingle.
touches.
And
you
so
went
I
with
got to like
Tingle?
5 or
Hell
6
yeah.
names, so I went with Tingle. But what ends up happening is one of your friends shows up and is like, your name is Cappy. And you can either choose to like keep the name that you gave your character or go back to Cappy. And I just went back to Cappy. So, no, it oozes charm, and I'm really enjoying it. It's one that I will likely see my way through, because it doesn't seem like one that has like a huge scope. Like if this was a 2 or 3 hour game, I wouldn't be surprised and wouldn't be unhappy.
Can't be unhappy when you're playing Capy.
I definitely gotta check this out. And this little clip just got me. Not this one. This, everything's my fault. Capy, I think he's catastrophized. And then that face. I'm sold.
The humor is
I just
really,
needed
really
that.
solid.
I'm sold.
It's
that
a lot
looks
of
so
fun.
funny. Oh.
Yeah,
Highly
Capy Castaway.
From
How long to
Cup
beat?
Studio.
The how long to beat's at 4 hours. Also,
Okay.
Nice. That feels like the perfect
Sounds
length
perfect.
for this.
Certainly. We have one more full game that I'll just dive into really quickly. That's Mind Inc. It is one that I believe I'm the only one that has played this one, and I like to describe it sort of as a Wilmot Jr. If anyone here has played Wilmot Works It Out, it is almost in that same mold where you go into people's minds and you know, there's some light puzzling that you have to make your way through. Hey, there might be, hey, find your way through this door, or hey, there's a way that you have to navigate to the puzzle pieces, or hey, there's guards that are guarding these puzzle pieces. But essentially, you're collecting puzzle pieces and bringing them, or rather like Sokoban puzzle tiles, and bringing them to the top of your level and just arranging them. Sometimes they're 4x4s. I believe there might be some 5x5s in there, but essentially it is just going into mines, solving puzzles, and then at the end of the game, figuring out the ties between each of the different characters' minds that you go into. And I don't want to oversell, because this mechanic is like, you know, very light. It's kind of just like a cherry on top of the Sokoban at you know, that you play throughout. But if Wilmot Works It Out was your shit, then you need to grab this game, because it is like $5, and I played it for 2.5 hours, like in 2 sittings, and just crushed it and had a lot of fun with it. And it's the second game from the studio, which I believe is Two Blackbirds is the name of the studio. But either way, I really loved it and highly recommend, especially for like, you know, $5.
That's
Hell
awesome.
yeah. This one also just launched as well. I love the Wilmot games, so this sounds right up my alley. Did you play this one on Steam Deck?
Yeah, I played it a little bit on Steam Deck, mostly on PC, but it worked. So
Nice.
no complaints there.
It looks really relaxing, like the gameplay loop looks just
I
meditative.
really just like lost my first playthrough. I was like, I'll just pop into this and check it out. And then 45 minutes later, I had played, you know, a 40% of it. So
Nice.
high recommend on it.
Chill music
It's pretty
as well.
too.
Yes. I won't lie. There was a time where I just kind of was listening to a podcast while I was playing it. But the music is there, and it's like very I don't want to say lo-fi, but it's like meant to fade in the background while you focus on the puzzles.
I feel like a podcast game isn't a bad thing. You need those in the rotation too. So nice.
It's the second game from this studio. The first was called Ghost Boy. I'd not heard of it, but this game is rocking. So
cool.
That's Mind Inc. And like I said, it's on sale for 20% off right now, and the Canadian price is $3.67. So for a cup of coffee, you can have a great 2 hours. That's a smoking deal, my friend.
Awesome.
So those are the 3 full games, Spiritstead, Capy Castaway, and Mind Inc. Let's now dive into some demos that we've played. Maybe what I'll do first is throw it to Luke to have you talk about Tony the Mole.
Let's talk about Tony the Mole. I really enjoyed this one. This is a 3D platformer collectathon exploration game. You play as this cute little mole. For all my 3D platformer sickos out there, if you enjoyed Big Hops earlier this year, Demon Tides, other titles, I feel like we're just in the renaissance of the character action platformer, which I'm super happy about. But I really enjoyed this one. It had some clever writing. The mechanics of digging and burrowing, I thought, added a nice, unique element to it. And it has a cool color palette where it's a stylized look, and it uses a lot of yellows and oranges and kind of fall hues, but it gives it this really distinct flair. You also collect bolts like in Ratchet and Clank, which I'm all about. And yeah, I just had a really fun time uncovering the different secrets, and you have a stamina meter, which you're leveling up to then be able to climb and burrow higher. You eventually burrow up walls and are jumping between stuff. And yeah, it felt really, really satisfying to play and super polished for a 3D platformer, which is super important.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's rad.
Yeah. I'm gonna +1 to the locomotion here. The way that you can dive into the dirt and then just keep moving, and then to your point, like take your stamina and like go vertically through dirt. It all just, like, that core loop works super well. So if you're watching the video version of this, or if you're not, pull up the trailer, you'll see that Tony the Mole just, like, dive in and dive up, and just know that it's exactly as it seems, and it feels hella satisfying to play.
That's awesome. Can I add to the icebreaker of wholesome mechanics? Collecting hats has become a big one for me at this
Hats
point.
are good.
Yeah, hats are good.
Folks here.
Oh my gosh, this looks super fun. I'm gonna check this one out
it's
too.
it's really cute, and the demo's awesome. So highly recommend.
Does it have a like release date or anything yet, or is that
No,
still
it does
TBD?
not.
It's a great question. Yeah, I think this one is to be announced, but all 3 other games that we just talked about are out, so
already,
play
yeah.
those first, and then Tony the Mole.
It's nice to
Wish list
see
today.
a demo that's super polished, though.
Yeah, the demo is available now, though. If folks want to play what we played, definitely can.
Where if, like, that's a vertical slice of what the whole game will be, just like, yes, 100%.
Yeah, hell yeah. Shout out to Luck Tape Games.
Shout out indeed. I would love to just quickly talk about Jigrift, which is one that was at PAX East that we finally got to play. They had one station, and it's being published by Wholesome. No, not Wholesome. Being published by
Whitethorn?
Whitethorn. Unlike another W, Whitethorn. And so the core mechanic of it, it's like an N64 3D platformer. Think Banjo-Kazooie in sort of aesthetic. And your core mechanic is that your character can do a little dance, and then the camera pans up, and you see the island in like a puzzle view. Like literally, I'm doing a puzzle on my table, and you can move the different island pieces into sort of puzzle formation, and as you make your way back down to the ground level, you can then make your way across the island in whatever configuration that you decided to make for the island. It is so impressive to see, and although I only played, let's say, like 20 minutes of this demo, it was one of the, those games where you're like, I'm going to stop because I'm just going to play the full game. That's Jigrift, and I'm so glad I finally got to play it.
Yeah, it's super rad. I didn't get a chance to play this demo, but this was one of my favorite games at PAX where we got hands-on. And like you said, I was just blown away by the fact that visually it presents like a wonderfully rendered N64 game, but under the hood there must be so much going on technically to make this work as smoothly as it does, where you're moving the puzzle pieces and then immediately jumping back into the third-person platforming perspective. Yeah, it was super satisfying, and I'm really interested to see like the scale of this one, because I think it demos super well, and I can't wait to see like what's a late game Jigrift puzzle look like.
Yeah, I thought it was super interesting the way that you are moving around the pieces of the island, and then that changes what you have access to. So, and I noticed, at least I think I was watching somebody else play the demo at PAX, where they moved it in a way that it wasn't progressing the way they were supposed to, but they found a secret that they wouldn't have otherwise found if they hadn't moved the piece or rotated the piece in just that exact way. I love it when you can just organically find secrets like that by messing around in a game. This is super cool. I love the puzzle element. I feel like a lot of games lately are doing the 2D to 3D swap, and I think that's really cool.
Like Blocks for Babies does, like a not 2D to 3D, but there's like a perspective shift. Jigrift, there's a perspective shift. You're basically developing 2 games, so I can understand how it can be difficult, and both of those games have to be good.
Yeah. And the one where you're like playing the Game Boy, but then it's also you're in
Oh,
the 3D
yes,
world.
Screenbound.
Yeah, that one.
That unfortunately got delayed, but like we will play when it comes out.
I mean, it looks like a very intense sort of thing to do technically, so take all the time you need. We'll be here.
And Claire, to your point too, like not only is there puzzling for the island pieces, but seemingly there may also be some on the island smaller puzzles. Like there was one with a tree where you collected tree chunks and then had to put those together like a puzzle piece too. So puzzling at a 20,000 foot view, but also on your islands too. So Jigrift, when I spoke to someone at the Whitethorn rep from it, he had hinted that it may not be as far as you think. Okay. And so the release date on that is 2026 without a date. But look, if they said this game's coming out in November, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's really cool.
I know
We'll
nothing.
see.
This is just speculation.
What do you know?
We're gonna
I
come
know
for
nothing.
you
Give us
if
Jigrift.
it's not out by the end of the year.
Luke, you are, I believe you're a fan of Cast and Chill.
Oh my
So-
gosh, I love Cast and Chill.
I need you to dive in and talk about Wind and Chill, which is the follow-up to that game, made by the lovely folks at Wombat Brawler.
Okay, I've been very excited for this moment.
But it's wild and chill.
It is wild and chill.
Wild and Chill, yeah, sorry.
Because here on Crossplay Conversations, we are wild and chill. This game is rad, first of all, just to get that right out of the way. So this is the next game from Wombat Brawler, who made the fantastic game Cast and Chill. If you're not familiar, it's a very laid-back fishing sim, delightful mechanics, surprising added layer of depth where you're catching different fish, cataloging them, selling, trading, buying fishing reels, rods, all kinds of equipment, and going out on your boat and just like having the best chill fishing experience of your life. This is their take on a 2D wilderness survival game, which on paper I was like, I don't know how they're going to do that immediately, but it's really, really neat. You control your character moving on a 2D plane. The game is really, really gorgeous with this awesome pixel foliage, and you're picking up crafting materials like sticks and rocks and different things, and typical to a survival game, you're crafting tools to then survive in the wilderness. Slowly throughout the 40-minute demo I played, I made a piece of flint that then I used to make a hatchet. I started chopping down trees. I met a local shop owner
Sit and look.
who gave me some different tips and tricks. I had a pot that I could then make soup in.
Hell yeah.
What I really liked about the experience overall is it captured that same level of whimsy and relaxation that I loved about Cast and Chill within the survival genre, which I think at its core is historically like very hardcore, very intense, very punishing. But this strikes a nice balance where I think for more wholesome, more casual fans, you can engage with the survival genre in a really approachable way, but find some of that satisfaction from crafting and foraging and managing your thirst and hunger and warmth by building a fire. Towards the end of the demo, I was sent out on a mission to get the old shopkeeper's meds that had been airdropped, and he was too old and not able to get there, so he loaned me his ATV. So I'm riding an ATV through the woods, and then I encountered a bear, and then the demo ends. So it left it off in a cliffhanger where I'm like super intrigued. Tons of crafting recipes similar to Cast and Chill, so I'm really interested to see the added depth. But you're cataloging flora and fauna. Claire, I think you'd really dig this one
I do
because of
love
the added
categoring.
survival mechanics.
Flora and fauna.
You gotta craft, you gotta catalog, you know? But yeah, had an absolute blast with this one. Sorry, I went on like a soapbox for Wild and Chill, but really, really enjoyed it. I
It's really
expected to really enjoy it, but then it pleasantly surprised me how much depth there was.
Oh, there's a bear.
Yeah, there's a bear. What are you gonna do?
Oh no.
And for a little while, I thought like this was a game like Rusty's Retirement that was more like an idle game, but this is one that you have to Cast and Chill, as well as Wild and Chill, are games that you need your full focus, right? It's just they're a little more laid back.
I would say Cast and Chill, you can like kind of soak in the vibes because nothing's trying to hurt you in that one. So you can like, to my favorite mechanic in a wholesome game of you can sit in the moment on your boat and take in the sunrise and not even cast out your fishing rod for as long as you want and then engage with it or go back to shore and min-max your rod equipment and do some trading and stuff. But this is a lot more as time is going on, you're getting hungry, you're getting thirsty. If you spend too much time in the water, you're going to get cold, so you have to manage your heat and go back to the fire or make sure you're sleeping. So there's a little bit more like gameplay to be aware of and systems and meters to keep track of. But like I mentioned, it progresses at a very approachable clip to where it never felt punishing, but it felt like something I needed to be aware of, which I think is like the perfect balance of keeping you engaged for a survival game.
And this one is like a to be announced. There's no date yet because Cast and Chill just came out, right?
I think 2 years ago now, or last year. I might
Steam
be totally
is saying
tripping.
June of 25.
Was it 25? Time is a construct. Who's
yeah.
to say? Yeah, but what I'll say to that is this felt so polished in terms of visual presentation and whatnot, and I played 40 minutes, so I kind of imagine this is a shorter experience than Cast and Chill is kind of a more open-ended, you can fish for as long as you want. I could see a world where you progress through the quote-unquote story, but then you can just live in the world and vibe and coexist and continue to craft, continue to gather resources.
Is there co-op in this too?
There might be. There wasn't in the demo. I'm going to do a quick perusal of the good old Steam page here.
Play solo or
co-op,
with your pals.
Co-op up to 4 players online. That's neat. That'd be fun.
That's soup's neat.
But to that point, as a primary solo gamer, I felt like this was a complete experience, and I didn't feel like it was like crazy challenging because I didn't have a bunch of friends, or you know, I think it scaled appropriately. So I'd be super curious to check it out in co-op. But yeah, highly recommend this one. If you're at all intrigued, highly recommend Cast and Chill as well, which I believe is also a part of the sale. Yeah, it's under $10 right now. So
Sold.
big 2 thumbs up on both of those.
If there's no other thoughts on this one, I would love to just hammer through 2 that I think I'm the only one that played. First, Beastfolk Barber and Locomochi. I think I was the only one who played both of those. I played just a little bit of each, and so Beastfolk Barber is very much in the mold of a coffee talk. This is being published by the same folks who did Opus Prism Peak, so that's Sigono. Sigono was the developer of Opus Prism Peak, but they're publishing this one, and it's very much in the mold of Coffee Talk, where you are running a barbershop for beasts and humans alike, and it is just your job to use the magic mirror that you have in your shop to essentially show people what their haircut is going to look like, get them to agree to it, and get them to be happy with their haircut, and then give them a haircut, and then sort of experience their stories and your own at the same time. If Coffee Talk's your thing and you've played those games, this one might be one for you. I don't think there's a date for this one. This is a to be announced, but there's a demo for this one available on Steam, so check it out.
Nice.
This looks cool. I didn't know there was as much of a narrative component, so
yeah,
excited to
unsure
dig
if
into
it's got the same level as a Coffee Talk.
Sure.
But there was, to your point, more story here than I was expecting, or at least like the characters were deeper than I was expecting.
This kind of reminds me of, I think it was a Whitethorn published game from the last few years, Magical Delicacy.
Yeah, it's got
like
a similar vibe.
Character color palette vibe. Nice.
Although the aesthetic's a little different, the art style is yes, 100%.
Okay. That makes sense. Right on.
And then I'd love to just quickly talk on Locomochi as well. This is a little cozy train puzzle game where you essentially just have to take your train around a track and essentially get cabooses and move through stations. And in the short time that I played it, I enjoyed it. So that one is Locomochi. The demo for this one's out too. Another one that's part of the Wholesome Games Celebration.
That looks cute.
It's very cute.
I enjoy train game. This is the one that I didn't get to that I was like, this would probably be my vibe.
This would probably be your vibe, Luke. You should try it out.
Hell yeah.
So that's
I'm
Locomochi.
Nice.
I think we only have one left, and I think it's Luke or Claire that played this one.
Just
This
Luke
is a
and
Claire game.
Claire asked game. Tell me about Little Sheep Valley.
I am going to get it pulled up first. There you are. Cozy Ranch Builder. Look at those sheep. And then I'm going to sneeze.
Let me read the Steam description while you sneeze. Tend to a flock of sheep and build your perfect Mediterranean farm in this cozy ranch builder. Decorate, expand, and create the perfect home for your fluffy friends. And yes, you can cuddle them.
You can. I didn't actually sneeze, but that was delightful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I played this sheep ranch game. It was super cute and very chill. Luke, you could sit on the bench and look at the vistas and just vibe out for a second. Yes, it was very nice. You can even like put the bench and the decorations. I thought it kind of was like Tiny Glade an aesthetic almost. Except for instead of building a castle, you're building just a quaint little sheep ranch, but you get to also interact with the sheep, and you can go in between build mode and actually like walking around your person, which I appreciate. Sometimes with the builder type games feels a little bit detached. So to actually get to walk around with the sheep and pet them and feed them and make them love you. And then you also get there's like a variety in the sheep that you get to have, which is fun. I really like the decorating. It felt like there was a lot that you could do, and you're always being prompted to like research more items, which would then give you more to do, and you can see it. It's just very aesthetic, and the lighting is very warm and cozy, and you can place all the trees. So I had a really good time with the demo. It was a pretty short demo, and I am looking at the trailer, excited to see what the full game has to offer in terms of the more decorations and the vibes. But it was a very chill
Valley.
game.
Yeah. And that one has, like all of these, has demos out now. And unfortunately, I think this one does not is a to be announced. But the demo, how long did you spend with the demo, Claire?
It can't have been more than 45, or maybe even 30 minutes.
But there's a lot of meat
long
there.
Demo. I feel like the demo gave me a real taste of the game, and I enjoyed it, and I just got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm going to keep playing. No, you're not, you're done. So it kind of sucked me in a little bit, but it gives you a little taste.
Cool.
The first game from Red Knot Games, so shout out to all the devs who have their first titles ever in Wholesome Game Celebration. They curate
awesome.
Really well.
Yeah, for real. This looks really polished, too, looking at the gameplay.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And you can pet the sheep, which we love.
So just to go through the demos we have played here, we played Tony the Mole, Jigrift, Wild and Chill, Beastfolk Barber, Locomochi, and Little Sheep Valley. So if you played any of those, make sure to wishlist them because it truly does help. Any final thoughts on the Wholesome Games Celebration event? Again, shout out to our friends at Wholesome Games for sending us access to these so we could play them and bring them to you.
I love the Wholesome brand. I think they, like you mentioned, they curate amazing games, spotlight so many cool devs, so many unique genres that fall within this banner, but all have that similar vibe and style and sensibility that I think is really special.
Yeah, I love that it's not just like every single game is the same thing. There are so many different areas within Cozy to explore, and I feel like they curate all these different games that each have something unique to offer, and it's not just the same game over and over again. It really feels like they curate a good variety of wholesome and cozy games to play.
Yes, wholeheartedly agree with you both. I thank them, we shout them out, and hopefully we'll be able to salute Jenny Wyndham in person at PAX West. Do we want to close the show by talking about our plans for that? We will be there. So if you're listening to this and if you want to say, hey, give us a high five, we will be there for you to do that.
I can't believe how soon it is.
It's
this
real
one really
soon.
snuck up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We get to see each other in person. Yay!
Yeah, that's going to be rad. Play a bunch of games. See friendship. Good vibes. Trivia. Do we want to say?
Yeah, so if you're around on Friday,
that was the
September
worst
4th.
tee-up in the history of the
no,
world.
Please. You lobbed it for me. Friday, September 4th, 7:30 p.m. In the Frog Theater. We're going to have video game trivia return for like the 8th time, which again is still insane to say out loud. Thank you to the Reed Pop folks for letting me continue to do this very silly thing. We've got a wonderful casting crew, Mike Toundrow, Kyle Stevenson, Stephanie Klimov, Baron Jones, Jen Moonen, and Matt Storm. So if you want to see those folks be really bad at trivia, except for Jen. Jen's going to kill it and beat everybody, but like, don't tell Jen I said that. But it's going to be a fun time. So again, that's Friday the 4th, 7:30 in the Frog Theater. It will not be streamed, but if you aren't able to make it, it will be available as a VOD later if you want to see it.
Always my favorite part of PAX.
And the code word, if you see us at PAX, is...
Molasses.
Done.
That's how we'll know you listened to this episode and you're saying hi as a fan of the show.
Hit us with molasses, and maybe we'll give you a special treat. By that I mean a high five, because that's all I got for you. But we'll have that for you. But what we'd like for you to do for us is do 4 things as we set our status to away this episode. First off, follow us on BlueSky at Crossplay Convos, because that's where we share details about when the show is coming out. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Instagram. We're posting a lot of shorts on both, so if you not only want to see the show, you can check out the shorts that we have for you there. We just posted a couple on our last episode with Roger Reichart from Gamerheads, which we love. We love Roger. Send this podcast to a friend, because that's how people hear about podcasts. And please give this a 5-star review on your podcasting platform of choice. It really helps. If it's 4 stars, I don't want it. Take it away. It has to be 5. If it's 4, garbage. If it's 5, please do it. And it honestly, truly does help. If you're listening to this on Spotify and you've got us on Pocket Cast, give us 5 stars there. If you're an Apple Podcast girly, find us on Spotify. Listen for a minute and then give us 5 stars there, because it truly, truly does help. And with that, as we approach the end of summer, all I have to say, nerds, is stay cool. Bye.
Molasses.